From the Fox 26 studios, this is Houston's Morning Show.
Up next, dressing up your pet for Halloween and other safety reminders ahead of trick-or-treating. We'll be right back. You know, Halloween can be even more fun when we get our pets involved, from dressing them up to trick-or-treating, but there are some safety reminders for families. So joining me is pet rhindologist Charlotte Reed. Good morning. So glad you are here to discuss this because there's always a big interest in pet costumes. So can you give us some tips for selecting the right costume for our pets?
Well, first of all, good morning, Denise. And sure, of course. So these are my three dogs, Hammy, Wally, and Church, who's dressed as a country music singer. You know, really, costumes, people pick costumes for a variety of things. The news, their culture, you know, anything that's going on in their life and even their local locale. But you also have to remember that Halloween is about the scary. So a lot of people like scary costumes. That works fine, but if you have small children, it can be a little daunting for them. So depending on if your kid is sensitive or not, go with something a little bit more nicer or sweeter. Also, costumes. You want to make sure you have a costume that your dog is not going to get overheated. Not a lot of dogs wear headgear. My dogs wear headgear. I mean, Church is wearing this little hat, and Wally is wearing this little werewolf's little headgear there. So headgear is also a no-no. You also want to make sure, like on this costume, you might not want to go with any lace or anything a dog can chew. I mean, this morning I dropped a little bat wing, and Church, my little puppy, started chewing it up. So you don't want anything dogs can chew, right? And you also want to make sure that dogs are not going to be tripping over costumes. But you know, Denise, there's also dangers everywhere you go.
I know. Well, so are pet parents worried about similar health and safety concerns that parents have about their kids when it comes to Halloween treats?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. So a lot of times, you know, back in the day, we always encouraged people not to take their dog trick-or-treating. So a lot of parents now take their dogs trick-or-treating, and they want, you know, their dogs to get treats too. They want the same thing that pets parents want. They want single wrap treats that are made and sourced in the USA that are going to be healthy for their dog. So I like these particular treats not only for those reasons, if a dog comes to the door, but the dog who can't go trick-or-treating, who's staying at home, who needs to be crated because he'll be anxious on that night with the doorbell ringing, even though you may turn off the lights, people still come. These are great treats because they're really large and they're long lasting like this. So dogs chew for exercise, and they also chew to relieve anxiety. So this is also, like I said, a big long lasting chew treat, which makes it good, and also made and sourced in the USA. And last but not least, you know, there are dangers lurking inside your home. A lot of people like to decorate. I always encourage people to decorate up toward the ceiling and not down on the floor. Also, spider webs. You can see right here, I'm playing with this spider web right here. Spider webs are very dangerous for dogs or cats. A lot of cats, when dogs will eat these, get enlarged in their intestine, and that's a huge vet bill and also surgery. Not before the holidays. We need all our cash that we can. And also candy, chocolate, bad for dogs, raisins. A lot of the healthy moms with the turquoise pumpkin factor want to give those raisins out, and also sugar-free candy because it contains xylitol. So it's really a good idea. If you have younger trick-or-treaters, even high school trick-or-treaters, make sure you tell your kids no chocolate, no candy, and no raisins.
All right, well, good to know. And you know, with the opening and the closing of doors, how do you prevent pets from being door dashers, especially the younger ones? Because I have a little black lab and she gets so excited whenever the doorbell rings.
Well, you know, it's great. A lot of people want to see your dog. Your dog might be dressed in a costume. I don't know if you're going to dress her in a costume, but make sure you have her on a leash and you have a firm grip on it if she wants to meet people. But also recognize that if you know the kids who are going to come by in your neighborhood, they like dogs, that's one thing. If not, you might want to put your dog or your cat in a room, kind of make a little shelter with some music, turn on the news. She can watch some clips of you. And, you know, make sure she has water. And I always like to have lots of Halloween-themed toys and beds. It kind of keeps my house fresh. Like I have a little bowl here. The dogs are lying on a Halloween bed. So I always make it comfortable for dogs and cats. And last but not least, I always say a lot of times you go to a house and you can smell the litter box. Before you see the cat or actually enter the house, make sure you clean the litter box, scoop it, put some fresh litter in before the big night.
For sure. Great advice. Thank you so much. I love your dogs too. They are so cute. Love their costumes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, Charlotte Reed, we appreciate your time. You have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.